how Black you are or how Black you are not. The question is always up in the air, do you identify as Black? And in Europe, that's not something that really comes up a lot, because over there, if you're African and you're visibly a Black person, people don't ask you to question whether you identify as Black because they assume that you automatically do. Whereas over here, you could be a visibly Black person, but people will still wonder, do you identify as a Black person? Which in some cases here, there are people who don't identify as Black, who are visibly Black. For every person who is Black, you can have a different definition of what defines your Blackness for you, because we're not all raised the exact same way.
The foundation of the world when it comes to art, culture, music, even the land that we walk on day to day was built on by my ancestors. So I think that's something that I always have to keep in mind, and I always have to show with pride when I walk out the door or when I'm doing things or when I'm around people.
Living in Africa and then also living in Europe, coming in United States, the Blackness experience is totally different from what I experienced from now. My friend said it right, actually. It feels like here being Black is a reaction to something because it has a lot of negativity. But to me, it has never been negative. And in anything that I do, I am Black out of me just being. And it's not a reaction to a race issue or a race conversation. And I don't have to claim, I don't have to scream, I don't have to do anything more Black than I am already.
I knew I was Black in Nigeria. And so I was told that I was Black, right, when I came here. And that kind of gave me a bit of a resentment for my own skin color, for my own self, because Blackness had a very negative connotation. Until I realized that there was a whole movement within the United States to redefine what Blackness was.
It takes a lot to literally leave everything you know and go to a foreign place and just say, I'm gonna wing it and I'm gonna make it. And when I look at my parents, they have literally done just that. And it's commendable because immigrants always get like backlash of like, oh, they come to a foreign place and they steal jobs, or like this negative stigma of like what immigrants do. But it's scary. Imagine being African or just being a foreigner and you're leaving and you're coming probably during the 70s or 80s, not knowing anything, not knowing the language as much. And you have to compete on a larger scale. You have to make sure that your education is up to par, your English is up to par, just everything you do is just 10 times better. And it's amazing because my parents have defied a lot of odds. They've provided me so much, and for my family as a whole. So I'm just like, I'm in awe when I think of them.
We're telling our stories, and our stories is influenced by what we've been exposed to. Even whatever project that I get my hands on, it's a reflection of who I am, right? And who I am, a part of it is based on where I come from. And the stories that we're telling are stories that are true to my identity. And of course, like I said, being Nigerian, my story is being told at the forefront of the projects that I'm working on. The opportunities that are here, I need to be able to not only tap into those opportunities, but also, because I have access to those opportunities, bring those opportunities to Nigeria. And those are the goals that I have set for not only myself, but the companies and the projects that I have my hands in.
I self-define Blackness as being God's rightful children. So Blackness is, to me, we are the gold, we are the ocean, we're the original race. That's why we can't be erased. That's why we are embedded in all culture, music, fashion, dance. We are literally made differently on a cellular level, physically. People can see that we're different. Blackness is, to me, the original.
Blackness does not equal weakness. Blackness does not equal ugly. Blackness does not equal uneducated. As a matter of fact, Blackness is the opposite of all that. Blackness is strength. Blackness is beautiful. Blackness is brilliant. Blackness is so ingrained in my identity that I don't always think about the fact that I'm a black man, but I walk like I am, I talk like I am. At least I think so. It guides all of my decisions involuntarily, and therefore my movements and my actions are just a mere product of my blackness.
Blackness is being, but it's way more than that. It carries history. It's a multicultural experience being black, but it carries so much more and bigger than ourselves.
If we didn't have blackness, if we didn't have black culture, if we didn't have black people, if we didn't even have the color black, there wouldn't be anything else. And I just think it's very important for all people to understand that, and for everyone to understand that without blackness, there is nothing that can truly